Welcome back to Collectability. It is a pleasure to be here to present to you an extremely important watch that is NFS, or not for sale. Here, we'd love to present to you watches that money cannot buy, but you could learn something new and see something that you have never seen before from the world of collectability, from the world of Patek Philippe. But before the big reveal, I'd like to tell you a story. Let's go back to the year 2015. I was at Christie's, and my colleague, Eric Wind, at the time, found quite the extraordinary watch. I remember he showed me a picture of the watch, and I was in complete shock. A Patek Philippe Calatrava from the 50s that had pearl markers on the dial. I've never seen anything like it. And then Eric showed me an archive picture, a black and white image from 1958. And indeed, it was a Patek Philippe with a pearl dial. So we sent away for an archive so that we could learn more about this fascinating watch. And we waited anxiously for weeks to receive the archive from Geneva, and then it arrived. We ripped open the FedEx, and there it was. Under the dial description, it described pearl hour markers. And this watch is a pink gold example that we nicknamed the Pearl of Bahrain. And on December 15th, 2015, this incredible watch was put up for auction at Christie's in New York. Originally, we estimated this watch at only $10,000 to $15,000. This particular estimate was conservative, a teaser estimate, as we called it. And we waited with anticipation to see what would happen on that day, December 15th, 2015. The phone banks were full. The online bidding was aggressive. And it quickly went above the high estimate of $15,000, and then 20, and then 25, 30, 35,000. And it just kept going. All in, after about 10 minutes of bidding, it brought $437,000. Why? Why did this watch bring so much? In our research, we found that this particular piece was given to an American businessman from the Emir of Bahrain. It was a piece that was specially crafted to be a gift with these amazing Bahrainian natural seed pearls. Looking closely at the dial, we could see that compared to a regular reference 2573, there was some significant differences. First, you could see the crystal is domed and the bezel is quite steep, and it allowed for the hands to travel over the pearls. Even the center arbor of the watch holding the hour hand and the minute hand was raised so they can clear the depth of the pearls. This is something we've never seen before from the world of Patek Philippe. And we never saw bidding like this before for a simple Calatrava like we did that evening. As we learned, when we auctioned off that watch, it happened to be Bahrainian National Independence Day. I thought that was the end of the story. I remember Eric, I told him, congratulations, you found this extraordinary watch. What's next? And we move on, and you never know what you're gonna see again. So I thought the Pearl of Bahrain story was over until the phone rang 3 years later. One of my colleagues in Geneva said, I think I found another Pearl of Bahrain. And my response was, nah, no way. Send me a picture. So I looked at the pictures. I was like, sure, looks like the first one. Then I saw the service records. Then I saw the archive. Then I saw the movement numbers and the case numbers and the fact that these were made in 1958 and then sold in early 1959. Then I believed it. Yes, this was a second Pearl of Bahrain. And that was sold in Geneva and brought in a very important number of 250,000 Swiss francs in 2018. So I went to my colleagues at Christie's and said, that was a great story. The chapter of the Pearl of Bahrain is over. And then I thought life moved on. But then moving forward to the year 2021, here I am at Collectability. Every day I'm receiving phone calls and amazing offerings and new treasures to be found. And I had received a very blurry picture and then a phone call of someone who said, I think I have a Pearl of Bahrain. And I once again said, no, I don't think so. I was like, send me some better pictures because it's so blurry, I can't even tell what it is. Then I received some extraordinary high resolution pictures and my eyes just popped out because this Pearl of Bahrain was unlike the first. It was not in rose gold. It was not with this beautiful rose dial. It was something completely different. This Pearl of Bahrain was in yellow gold with a gilt dial, which is just magical in the way that it frames the pearls. And it had a bracelet, a Patek Philippe bracelet. So as I tell you this story, I'd like to reveal to you for the first time the world has ever seen the Pearl of Bahrain in yellow gold. This particular piece, just like the other two rose gold, just absolutely redefines my understanding of mid-century Patek Philippe design. The customization with the dial and the pearls is exactly the same as the rose gold examples, but this particular watch has some very unique differences. Notice the gilt dial, that yellow finish in gold that has a monochrome look with that same high bezel, but this in yellow gold. And then you have this bracelet. The bracelet is unlike anything I have ever seen before. This is 1950s design at its finest. But just like the other two, I had to wait for an archive. In this case, I had to wait 3 months to find out if this indeed was made and sold by Patek Philippe as I hoped and prayed. Then the FedEx arrived and I ripped it open. I took a look and sure enough, the archive was confirmed. But the archive also said, born with a gilt dial, 8 pearl markers, and then it was born with a bracelet too. So the bracelet that we have here is also correct. And when we look at this bracelet, and let's look closely with a loop, it has some secrets within. You'll see it's signed Patek Philippe and Company, Genève. You'll see the 750 mark, Swiss made, and then the GF mark. This is Gay Frère, the bracelet maker to Patek Philippe in the 1950s. And some of the most beautiful bracelets ever made were made by Gay Frère. The next mark that you'll see is a 2 above a 58. And in the Gay Frère vocabulary, that means this was made and sold in the second quarter of 1958, which matches perfectly with the archive. We know the watch was made in 1958. So all of this comes together. This Pearl of Bahrain just absolutely is a magical reference. But the history has one more secret to share with us. We compared the movement and case number of the first Pearl of Bahrain in rose gold, and then the second Pearl of Bahrain in rose gold, and now this third one in yellow gold. And you'll see the movement number is actually earlier on this example in yellow gold. The case number is actually earlier with this example in yellow gold. I propose that this may be the very first Pearl of Bahrain ever made. It predates the other two rose gold examples. This, in the world of Patek Philippe, is what it's all about. To further appreciate this bracelet, you need to put it on your wrist because you can see this bold geometric design. It looks great flat, but it's amazing when it's actually on your wrist. It was originally sized to be worn by a man, and it fits perfectly on the wrist. And you can see how the clasp tapers in that central link, and it really shows how Gay Frère transcended any other bracelet maker of the time in the way that they designed for the look and the feel and the quality of workmanship with a bracelet. For me, this watch is not only important as the Pearl of Bahrain, but the bracelet is just the icing on the cake for a watch that the world has never seen before. Thank you for joining us today and viewing in detail this extraordinary watch, this important piece of Patek Philippe history. Unfortunately, it's not for sale. However, I hope you enjoyed the story, and I hope you learned a bit more about the history of mid-20th century Patek Philippe design and some of these special pieces that were made for very important collectors during that time. If you enjoyed this video, please follow us and like and subscribe on YouTube, also Instagram. And until then, enjoy the hunt.